everybody, even as I look for comments, because I can't remember everybody that I welcomed. Do you advise several money market funds for different goals? Yes. For every goal, you should have a specific account. That way, you will be able to monitor, number one, and number two, you will be able to diversify your risks and also enjoy the benefits. For instance, if maybe one of the ones that you're using, their their rate is 10%, then the other one is 8%, then the other one is maybe 11%, the other one could be 9%. You see, that way you will have diversified, and you'll have given yourself an opportunity to earn from different rates, and also you have diversified the risk. Yes, I would say yes. Another question, at least now I can see uh, we are engaging. Yeah, I can see we are engaging now. Yeah, I can see we are engaging now. Yeah, I can see we are engaging now. I can see we are engaging now. Welcome everybody who is joining now. Welcome everybody who is joining now. At least I know everybody can hear. Sorry about the echo. I was trying to be sure that YouTube is connected. Yeah, yes, I have removed it. Thank you, Mimi. I was trying to make sure because I was connecting a microphone to reduce the noise from outside for the YouTube family. I'm still waiting for questions, comments. At least I know I am here with Mimi. Let's see anybody else. Where are you even watching us from? At least you can also say your location, even if you don't have a question, so that we feel like we're walking the same journey. I'm giving you 1 minute to at least engage. For the YouTube family, welcome to our first live stream. I've actually not done another one before because of the number of subscribers. So we are growing. So if also you're on TikTok and you would like to support our YouTube channel, feel free to visit our YouTube channel. We also post videos, the longer version of the videos that we post on TikTok. Because sometimes I prefer to do short videos on TikTok and long videos on YouTube. Yeah. So 1 minute is over. I want to go to how to stay consistent with your budget without feeling restricted. Okay, so I would also want you to, now that you're not responding, but I am hoping you're following, I would want you to ask yourself, do you have a budget? Do you stick to it, or are you struggling to keep up? Just ask yourself and maybe note it in your notebook so that you can be able to see if once we discuss these items that you're going to be able to address your budget. First, pick a budget that matches your lifestyle. We have already defined the different personalities, so based on that, it is going to be easy for you to define your lifestyle. Include fun money in your plan to manage. Have guilt-free spending budgets. On TikTok, hey, fire has fired. People were complaining that when I was doing budgets, I was not budgeting for fun, entertainment, and all those things. Well, I would like to explain this, and sometimes maybe today you will not understand, but at some point you will. Number one, entertainment is a want. So for you to spend on a want, you first need to afford at least your need. So it's not like I was being I was being mean to people. I was being real as it can get. To be honest, there is an income that you cannot be able to two things: entertainment and black tax. I can see Mimi is already commenting. She said also black tax is a thing. The thing is, your parent is not your personal responsibility. That does not mean you should not help them. That means you should balance between helping them and sustaining your life. For instance, if your parent has lived their life and you're just starting your life, you see, assuming you live so long and you have not started planning yourself on time, what you're going to do is continue creating the black tax that, to be honest, I would want us to get out of the black tax, and that will change with you and me by making sure I don't become a burden to my family, you don't become a burden to your family. You work hard or work smart, whichever works for you, and ensure you're earning your income so that you can now enjoy that entertainment without feeling guilty or without feeling like I didn't recognize that you need to have fun. Fun comes after you have been able to meet your basic needs. And also, your family comes after you have been able to meet your basic needs. They're important, but make sure you balance. Don't carry the whole clan and you halt your life, because what you will do, you're carrying on the black tax generational aspect that all of us would want to get out. But as we have said, we cannot change the generation ahead of us, but we can change from today, from you and I taking the first decision to make sure that we don't become a burden to the future generation. Okay? You can automate your essentials. You can place a standing order to your basic needs such that you don't get temptations of this month I will not pay rent, I'll pay next month. And deep down, you know that your budget cannot afford or your income cannot afford 2 months rent. But here you are telling yourself, no, not to worry, I will do it next month. Trust me, don't kill yourself with high blood pressure. Trying to balance income, you know, is not balancing. You know, you live paycheck to paycheck. Yet, you want to postpone some expenses to next month. So, how will they be catered for? Just ask yourself, okay? Track your progress, not perfection. Remember, here, we are not here to become perfect, or we are not here to weigh our perfection. We are here to ensure we are consistent. And when you become consistent, you actually stop even competing with your friends, neighbors, colleagues, and everybody else. And you know your focus is just one. You have your short term, medium, and long term goals in place without thinking what seat your BFF bought or what car your husband's friend got for her. You will just be knowing this is what I want and this is what I'm working towards. Okay? Yeah. If you keep on track consistently, reward yourself. People have different ways of rewarding themselves. Some may say, I treat myself to a lunch, dinner, and all those things. Whichever makes you happy, treat yourself, but still maintain within the budget. Okay? The treat has to be accommodated in the budget. You don't want to have a treat now and then 1.5 weeks down the line, you don't have transport to work, which pays for that treat. We want everything to work for the better. Okay. Then review and adjust monthly, that we had already said, and then use visual motivation. What are visual motivations? For instance, right now I have several images of my goals. If it's a car, I have an image. I don't have the money, but I have the image. you get. You can also know that there is the power of manifestation. So when you see it, it will be reminding you all the time that this is what you're working hard to achieve. And that way, even when you're saving, you will always find yourself reminding yourself, so I'll get this outfit, which I will not be wearing all the time, instead of me quickly going and putting this money aside for that goal that I want to achieve. Use this money to create a passive income. Don't always focus on your active income. Think about the bigger picture of how you're going to get out of paycheck to paycheck using the paycheck that you have. Don't expect you at one day you will get a lot of money, you start investing, and that is how you will get out of the paycheck to paycheck situation. That will not happen. Start small, grow gradually. Last week I said you saving your first 100,000 is difficult, but once you hit it, you're like, so it's doable. Yeah. So even if your milestone that you're happy about is 1,000, be pleased with it. Can you imagine if in your entire life you had never saved, then you save only 1,000? Imagine that is a whole difference. Even 500. The most important thing is creating that habit. Okay. Then what are the challenges in budgeting? Irregular income. This will mostly affect business people because the salaried people would have maybe a specific amount from salary which will help you pay for your bills, and then you're left figuring out your other things. But irregular will be today the business is low, the next week the business is super high, and that is even more difficult because you don't know when it's going to be high, you don't know when it's going to be low. So you need to be super disciplined to be able to even keep up and sustain your life without struggling. Okay. Then we have underestimating expenses. The purpose of doing 1 to 3 months is just to ensure that you know the actual amounts that will align with your income. Remember, the key thing is not what you want, but what your money can afford. The day you wake up and realize what your money can afford is what you actually can get at that point, that is when you start enjoying peace of mind. Not trying to think, okay, now I have bought this thing. How am I going to pay my next week's expenses and all? Okay. Then impulse spending. We cannot overemphasize this enough. Go to your closet. Check the extra things that you have in that closet that you don't even use. How many times have you ever found yourself filling your closet with a lot of nothing? Do the check. I am sure all of us are victims. So before you pick that item, before you pay for that item, think twice. Okay? Then when there is no room for fun, like everybody was complaining, you need to spare some small money. Do you know if your budget is so stringent, you can actually squeeze yourself and say, look here, I cannot afford everything that I want, but I can afford one treat per month or two treats per month. And treats don't have to be expensive. You can even buy things somewhere and come, if maybe it's a meal you like, that meal that you like, prepare it at home. That thing that you desire from outside, just get away of figuring out how you can get it at an affordable amount. Yes. Then emergencies and unexpected bills. When was the last time you checked your emergency fund? That is 3 to 6 months, and I always recommend 12 months worth of living. That in case today you're not able to work, maybe you don't have a source of income, or you don't have, at least I can see people are liking the live, which means I am not speaking to myself. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, so you don't have a source of income, or you're not in a position to work. How can you sustain your life before you get to the next step? You know what? You need to figure that out if it's not already figured out. And it's a step at a time. If it will take you time to save, just take your time. You'd rather take a longer period and pray that nothing goes south during the period you're creating your emergency fund. And then after that, you'll be able to now start saving. Yes. Yeah. So the next thing is lack of tracking discipline. How do you track your income? Or you just spend, and then when you see, if you're a Kenyan, you can relate with this. When you're trying to make a payment from your phone and you get the Fuliza pop-up, I don't know in other countries what they are called. That is your mobile money service provider. You have now exceeded what you had, and the service provider is now advancing you some loan. And this loan is, you're at the till, you have picked the stuff that you're shopping for the week, you're at the till. Then you get that pop up. That tells you you don't even know how much you have, how you spend it, and it can be draining because the day you start realizing that you don't have money, it will be a sad situation. Okay? So next thing is peer and social pressure. That is the biggest. My friend bought a new phone. My friend bought a new seat. My friend's husband bought. My my colleague has a new outfit. I have to get a dress like that. My colleague has a new hairstyle. Why is my hair so bad? This social and peer pressure, at some point, as you become an adult, you have to get out of it. We are only allowed maybe until 18 years. After 18 years, peer pressure, you leave it in high school. Otherwise, you're screwed. Or should I say, the world is cooked? I think I should say, you're cooked, because you will be struggling for the rest of your life trying to match someone else's lifestyle. And your lifestyle and your finances are not aligning. I have seen people struggle through debt because you're just piling and piling and piling. You're not even looking for a way out. It's like you're living for the moment, then you're like, oh my God, now I am in trouble because you cannot even sustain your monthly. And you get to an extent that you have loans from Shylocks who will antagonize you until you feel like you can go crazy. I don't know who needs to hear this, but if you ever borrowed from a Shylock and it was time to pay, and you even forgot that you had taken the loan and when it was due, because of course you have so many and you're overwhelmed. Yeah, like Mimi has said, debt is modern day slavery. We said, I need to clarify this. Debt is not bad, because there are two types of debt. There's bad debt and good debt. Bad debt is for consumption. Let me just take a soft loan to go and buy new seats because my neighbor also has new seats. Let me take a soft loan, especially there is a new system nowadays which is killing people, of taking loans, taking phones on credit. Why would you take a phone on credit? Like, Someone explained to me like a 10-year-old. I don't think a 2-year-old will understand. Save for a few months, then buy a phone. It's not an emergency. As as much as the modern world is demanding us to have or to be on social media or to be having smartphones, why would you take a loan to buy a phone? Like someone explained to me, if you can't afford now, get a mlikamuzi, that small phone. Start saving. Once you save enough, then you'll be able to buy a phone and buy a phone that is reasonable based on your income. That is the new trap nowadays because they are so accessible even in the village. So you can't say that this is happening in the city or it is happening even in the village that you find is that person who is selling those phones on credit. A phone is not something you should be buying on credit. When you want to take debt, you should take good debt. And good debt is money that will generate money. For instance, I'm not saying you do it, but I'm saying you can borrow to buy shares in terms of, say, like when they are you can even say instead of just not having any small investments, you can consider to buy shares. Why? Because these shares, of course, shares are risky and they can actually go south. They can actually give your debt um, a downside. But on the flip side, they can accelerate your income and they can actually pay the loan in a shorter period. That is just an example. I'm not saying you take loans for shares, it's just an example. You can take a loan to boost your business. Another mistake sometimes people do is taking loan to start a business and then the business goes south and you're stuck now with a loan and no business. If the business has started and you can now see the potential, you can take a loan to boost the business, not to start the business. There are some people who are lucky, I will not rule that out, who can be able to start on credit and pick. We have different opportunities. So if you feel you can start a business, why not? Okay? The next thing is all or nothing thinking. You're not even thinking or focusing on the budget. You're just there. Anyway, okay? So we go to the next thing is wins when you budget. So what do you gain when you budget? Number one, control over your money. You know where each and every shilling goes, and you know you will even be able to manage to live within your means as compared to you trying to figure out how you will survive. And then it reduces financial stress because you know what your money is doing. Then it helps you progress towards your goal because, of course, if you have a budget, you will have a saving and investment portfolio. Then, then you will have fewer debt problems because, as much as possible, you will be able to live within your means. And then you will have smarter spending habits because you'll be very conscious of what you're buying or where you're spending your money on. Then you will have more room for fun without guilt. If you have a proper balance budget that is working, you'll be able to spare something for your fun. Okay? Then you will be prepared for emergencies. Whatever comes, you already have an emergency fund that is 3 to 6. My recommended is 3 to 12 months worth of living. Okay, then you will boost your confidence and discipline. You're walking out there. Yes, you don't have millions, but you have peace of mind. So you'll be even your confidence is not affected by you trying to accommodate your friend, accommodate your neighbor, your colleague, as in you're trying to compare yourself to update yourself. Okay, so then what are the benefits of budgeting? Clarity on your financial situation. You know where you are, you know where your strengths are, and you know what to do to get better. Okay, then you get better in money management. You'll be able to run your money in a smooth way, knowing very well what is happening. And then you will be able to achieve your goals because you will have allocated money to your specific goals and you will be able to achieve them. Then you will have debt reduction. If you have debts, you can actually decide to accelerate the payments. That will help you ease your burden. And then you have reduced financial stress. You'll not be thinking about money. You'll just be your problem will be how to make more, not how to cover for the deficit that you have from somewhere. Then you, of course, you'll have improved spending habits. You'll be conscious of how you're spending your money, and then you'll be emergency prepared. Whatever happens, you're ready for the emergencies. And then, of course, you can have fun without feeling guilty because you are in control of your funds. And then you build discipline and financial confidence. Okay, then it will help you live within your means. Okay, I think we are done with the budgets. And since I had promised to start on unit trust, I'll give you 2 minutes to digest the budget and then we go to unit trust. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment. If you have any comment, concern, or input, you can also drop it in the comment section so that I can respond before we go to the next thing. Let me just check. At least like the live. For the ones who are liking, they are motivating me to know that at least I am not speaking to myself. I have an audience. I'm checking for any comments before I can continue or any questions. And if I said something that affects you, you just need to take action. It's not personal. It's not an attack on anybody. We're just trying to get as real as it can get here. Yeah, you can like the live if you don't have any questions because I have not seen any comments. So I'll quickly do, yeah, I don't see anything. So I'll quickly go to unit trust. And unit trust is where money market fund falls. You know, I've been talking about money markets ever since being a better option for our saving. I want us to look at it from two different perspectives. Some people consider it as a saving vehicle, others consider it as an investment. Whichever approach you want to take, you're free to. But for the purposes of our 30-week saving challenge, I felt it's better to use it as a saving platform because you get to earn some returns. Okay, so what are unit trusts? I think I'll just highlight. If you need more details, you can reach out. So unit trusts are a type of collective investment where money from many investors is pulled together and invested in diversified portfolio of assets depending on the trust investment objective and strategy. Okay, so uh, I don't want to go into all the nitty gritties of unit trust because our focus is money market, but I needed to first mention a few things about um, unit trust. So for unit trust, they have several key players, and maybe I've mentioned others in the in previous videos. We have the fund manager, who is considered the investment expert, and he's in the heart of the trust operation. Their job is to make investment decisions on behalf of investors. They are professionals who, when someone is watching and they see this certain investment is going down, and we need to move the money to this other one. And that's why, if you started following me some time back, my rule has always been, before you start your investment journey, engage the do your own personal research first, then engage a professional to help you so that you understand the benefits, the challenges, and the risks. Because I think the biggest challenge we have is the risk aspect. You look at it from the perspective of, this guy is not making me the money that he promised or the money that I want. Yeah, so basically that. They are professionals with expertise in financial markets, asset valuation, and risk management. They monitor the performance of investments and adjust the portfolio as needed, with the aim of maximizing returns while managing risks. Okay. Their responsibility is asset selection, portfolio management, and diversification, adjusting strategies based on market conditions, reporting fund performance to investors. So that's the fund manager. Okay. What I'm trying to show is to show the link that assures you that your money market fund is protected, so to speak. The only protection that is not there in unit trust is the risk. The risks cut across, but you also need to look for someone who will make your money grow and also manage risks where they can. Okay. Then there is the trustee. He's like, or he or she is like a watchdog. They play a supervisory role independent of the fund manager, and is tasked with ensuring the fund is run legally and in the best interest of investors. They ensure that the fund manager adheres to the fund's objectives and rules. Of course, there are policies and guidelines in every setup. They ensure that investors' rights are protected. The fund complies with all regulations and legal standards. Okay. Then we have the custodian. So what I'm trying to say, between your money, there are people who are checking. It's not like when you put your money in your wallet and you're the only checker, or your money in your phone and you're the only checker who can access at any time. There's someone who is overlooking, and we have not even mentioned the regulators. Remember, there is the regulator and then the other people who are on the lookout to ensure that your investment is properly managed. So we have the custodian, the asset protector. The custodian is responsible for safeguarding the assets owned by the trust. Okay, owned by the unit trust. This includes holding shares, bonds, shares, cash, and other investments in a secure and regulated environment. Okay, they ensure that all assets are correctly registered and accounted for. Fund assets are commingled with other assets. Transactions are settled accurately and securely. Okay, sorry. Then, of course, these people will not be there if there is no investor. So the investor is you, who takes on units in the trust. Each unit represents your share to the overall fund. You don't directly own the underlying assets like specific shares and bonds, but you benefit from their performance as an investor. Your returns comes from capital gains, income distributions, and reinvestments. Okay? Yeah, so basically that is summary. If you want details, you can always drop an email or a comment or a DM. We'll get back to you. We're just highlighting for purposes of this live. Then, what are the types of unit trust? We have equity unit trust. This is where you invest in shares of companies, of course, not you, but the asset manager. Then we have bonds units, which is commonly called fixed income funds. They invest in government bonds and corporate bonds. Then we have balanced unit trusts or mixed asset funds. They invest in a combination of stocks, bonds, sometimes in cash or property. Then we have our highlights, money market fund, which is called money market unit trust. But for our purpose, we'll call it money market fund. They invest in short-term, low-risk debt instruments like treasury bills, commercial paper, bank deposits, and the like. How they work, these funds preserve capital and provide small, steady returns. Like we said, money market funds do not have high returns, of course, just also because they also have low returns. Low returns, low risk, low returns. The same case, high risk, high returns. And then they offer high liquidity to investors. You can easily withdraw your money. You need between 24 to 72 hours to access your money, which I'm assuming is super cool if you're in need of an emergency. And then returns are lower, so is the risk. Okay? They're best for emergency funds and short-term savings, which is what I have been saying, but I hope now it's a bit clearer. Maybe I seem like I was saying it as a by the way. Yeah. And then for people who are very risk averse, if you're not ready to take any risks and you want to get some returns, money market fund is for you. And then also, if you just want to put your money somewhere safe, money market is for you. Yeah. So then we have specialty unit trusts. They are invested in specific sectors and specific asset types, and they are focused. They are themed. Yeah. So how do you choose the right type of unit trust for yourself? Your choice should align with your goals, your risk tolerance, your time horizon. So a quick summary. If you want to consider equity fund, it is a high risk with high returns, and it is preferred for long term, and it helps in capital growth, and it is ideal for aggressive investors. For bond fund, it is medium to low risk, low to medium risk. Sorry, I started the opposite. Then the returns are moderate, and then the time zone is medium term. Basically, they give you some steady income. It's for conservative or retired investors. Then we have balanced fund, medium risk, moderate to high return, medium to long term for the time, and then it is the main goal is growth and stability, and it is for general investors. Then of course we have the money market fund, which is a low risk, low return, and it is for short term, and it is for capital preservation, and it is ideal for very risk averse investors or people who are saving for their short term goals or their emergency fund. Okay, then we have the specialty fund. It's high risk, High but variable return. It's for long term, and their main goal is sector or theme exposure, and it is for experienced niche focused investors. Okay. So, how do unit trust work in general? I think I had highlighted investors like you and I buy units in a fund. Your money is pooled with other investors. A fund manager invests that money according to the fund's objectives. The value of your unit changes based on the performance of the underlying investment. Okay? Risks. Risks vary depending on the option that you take. So, I will not highlight in detail the risk. If you want more details, you can reach out, but I'll give a general overview on the risk. So there's diversification. Don't put all your money in one fund or asset class. Spread the risk. I think I've said this time and time again. So you need to spread your risk. Then time horizon planning. Match your investments to your goals and how long you can leave the money. Okay. Regular reviews. Periodically assess your fund performance and rebalance if needed. Periodically could be quarterly, half yearly, or annually, but annually is too long. Actually, the ideal is quarterly. Know your risk tolerance and be honest about how much risk you're willing to take and choose the fund accordingly. Then dollar cost averaging, invest a fixed amount regularly to smooth out market volatility. Yeah. So how to start investing in unit trust? It is so easy. It is one, two, three. Like if you have been following us here, we said we have partnered with Kuza Asset Management, and the link is on the profile. You just follow the link, and you just need your ID, your PIN, and a bank card. The card, the purpose is to ensure that when they are transacting, they will transact to the right account. So it doesn't have to be strictly your ATM card. You can use a page of a statement of account. You can use a cancel check, whichever you're comfortable with. You can also check Etika Capital. The link is also on the profile. And for that one, we don't have a direct link. So you put the referral as the money and mindset at gmail.com. That way, in case you have any issues with your savings or your investments, whichever you may want to call it, I can be able to assist because it's linked to my account. But if it's not linked, I might not have authority to demand something for you in case there's any other issue, and that is the whole essence. We have the link. Okay, so like we have said, those are just the basic approaches of opening the account. So let's get to the process of how to start investing in unit trusts. First, define your investment goals. Is it for your retirement, education, or home? Do you want capital growth, income, or both? What is the timeline that you're working with, short, medium, or long term? Then, how much risk are you comfortable taking? Your answers will determine, like I have said before, you can decide based on the options that I gave. But if you want a detailed, you can always reach out. Step two, know your risk profile. Every investor has a unique risk tolerance. This depends on factors like age, income, financial obligations, and personality. Sometimes it's actually more personality because you may find someone who has capacity to take higher risks, but they are scared because they don't want to take risks. Yeah. So common risk profile is conservative, that is prefers safety and stability, that is focuses on money market and bonds. Okay. Then moderate seeks balance between risk and reward, goes to balance funds. And then there's aggressive, aims for high returns and can handle market swings like equity funds. And this is actually advice advisable to try out when you're a bit advanced in your investment journey, because even if they go down, you have time to give it time um to improve. If anyone of you watched a reel I shared, if you start investing before you have an emergency fund, if a crisis comes, it will bring a crisis to your investment, because you'll be tempted to take out your investment, which could be the wrong time when you take the investment. So you have to be very strategic by ensuring you have an emergency fund. Then now you can be able to gamble here and there, and you see what is that you can be able, how much are you able to risk, because you don't have to be conservative. You can get some, attract some risk, but at the right time. That's why I'm saying you have to seek professional guidance as to when to take the risk. Okay, and make sure you check a few. Don't just check one person and take their word. Someone can be in business and they're just selling the product to you, so make sure you do some research so that you have some level of balance. Just like the way you do your window shopping, sometimes you don't find yourself just shopping from one shop. You compare with others before you shop. Of course, the next one I had not forgotten it. Also, research unit trust options. We have highlighted them, and also look at the objectives of the fund. Does it aim for growth, income, both? Okay. Consider asset allocation, past performance. Check the last few years, how it has been happening. Plumbers World Stores Limited. What do you mean? What exactly? Where did we lose you, if I may ask? Because I think we could have lost you at some point. I'm talking about unit trust, where money market fund falls in. If you want more details, you can reach out. I will explain in detail. If you lost the explanation here, but you're free to ask the questions here. Okay. Then you check the fund manager's track record. Of course, you need to check whether they are regulated. You need to check fees and charges. And also, which is more important, check their fund fact sheets all the time, so that you're updated with what is happening to your investment. When you put your money, don't just and think they will work for you. What has happened to me actually, I put some funds in a money market fund, and to be honest, after I did the RTGS, the funds, I don't know where they went afterwards. 1 year down the line, I put in a request to withdraw, and I was told the account is not funded. Well, it felt like, are you trying to say that my money was lost in the air? And it was not small money, it was some reasonable amount. So I decided to visit them at their offices, only to find that the money has been in their suspense account for the last 1 year plus. I'm like, you received money, you did recon, but you didn't put my money in my account. Okay, the good thing is they compensated, and they put in interest over the period that the money was supposed to be in their custody, or the money was in their custody. So don't sit back and think they are tracking for you. Track for yourself every month. When you get the statement, check and see whether the same interest you got last month is the same, or your money is growing, so that you decide, is it time to move or is it time to continue being there? Yeah. So just track, even if it is your 1,000, your 500, your 200, it is your money. If you board a matatu right now or a bus to whatever place you want to go, you won't tell me they can allow you to pay less 10 shillings. So the onus is on you to ensure that you're tracking your own money and ensure you're getting returns. Don't, and you compare what is happening in the industry. Okay? Yeah. So the next step is choose a platform to invest through. You can do banks, online investment platforms, through financial advisors, and all those things. Okay. So make sure you understand how they work before you get in, because that is key. Then, of course, you need to fund your investment. If you open an investment account just because you joined the 30-week saving challenge and you want to appear that you are part of the challenge and you're not putting any money, you are hurting yourself. You're not hurting me. This challenge is for your benefit more than me. I have the saving discipline, but I needed to the motivation and also to motivate someone else. So always remember that anytime you don't save and you promise to save, you're failing yourself. You're not failing TMG circle, but you're also failing the circle because we want on 28th everybody to celebrate and enjoy the benefits of the savings we have been saving for the 30 weeks. Okay. Of course, I have said number six is monitor and review your investment. I've already explained that they should send you statements every month, and if you don't get your statement or you cannot access your statement online, you should ensure you ask for it. Okay. So, tips for first time investors like Plumbers World. Plumbers World, what this your comment tells me is that you have not tried our money market fund recommendation, and it's not cast on our partners. You can always choose your own. It's only that we would want to partner with people who we can also monitor you, because if I see you're not depositing, I can remind you as I do in the group or as we do every Sunday on this live. So you need to open an investment account for purposes of this live. Let's call it an investment account where you'll be saving a specific amount per month. You can start with as low as 100 shillings, even some saving options actually, like Choom's app, you can save 5 shillings. But that one is not a money market fund, it's a saving platform, but feel free to join it. Don't say I don't have 100. If you have 5 shillings of five, only five like this, save in Choom's. Okay. So tips: start small, start now. Don't wait for the perfect time. Don't wait to make a lot of money before you think you are ready to start saving. Stay disciplined. Avoid emotional decisions during market swings. Oh, you see, like you have earned some more money and you start counting. This month has been good. Let me withdraw for another thing which is not important, to not do injustice to yourself. Okay, then since unit trusts are compounded, reinvest your returns to make more. You can give yourself a break, like the way we are doing the 30 weeks. Don't be taking the interest. Also, leave the interest there to earn. Because even if you get maybe 500 interest, you say, since I saved this month, I can withdraw the 500. Don't. Just spare yourself that and be contented until the 30th day. You didn't have that interest. Just leave it there to make you more money. Okay? Ask questions about whatever clarification you may need, get to understand everything that you need to understand. Ask. Then do not hesitate to consult a financial advisor. Sometimes we feel like we are experts in everything, so get an expert in the area you're focusing on. Don't think you have Googled, you have chat GBT'd and all that to be able to say, now I'm ready for this one. Just do your research. Just understand what you're getting into before you get in. It is actually suicidal not to try. Okay? Yes. So, unless there are other questions or you need detailed information on a private level, I think, no, I have one more thing. Mistakes you need to avoid when investing in unit trusts. Investing without clear goals. We said you have to set a goal. Just like we say, do not save unless you have a goal of what you're going to use that money for. Don't think saving is just for fun. I saved 5 shillings. I saved 1,000. No, you're saving for a purpose. Okay? Then ignoring your risk tolerance. If if you know you cannot handle risk, don't get into the risky business because you're going now to be nursing, I don't know, a heartache or hypertension or acidity or ulcers. No, get into something that you can focus on. Can you lock your money in an MMF for a period of time? Yes, you can. Nowadays, they have enabled that option because they realize by the fact that it's too liquid, you get temptation. So they give that option of fixing. Then chasing past performance. Well, don't think past performance of a certain company is a guarantee that it will do well, or if the company has been there for so many years that it is a guarantee it will do well. Don't be too sure. You have seen companies closing, okay? Then not diversifying enough. Like Mimi asked or someone asked, make sure for each goal you have opened a separate account. Nobody will ask you for opening 10 accounts. Like they are your accounts. So you're free to open them, okay? Then the timing in the market. You see, I said when you don't have a saving fund, you find yourself in a situation whereby you 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 can find yourself selling when the rates are low. So just make sure that whatever you're putting in a risky side, you can withdraw it whenever the market improves and you not be forced by other circumstances to withdraw. Ignoring regular reviews. I've given you my story of not checking for 1 year until I requested for some money only to be told there's no money. I just opened an account and there's no money. Yes. So I'll quickly also highlight on the frequently asked questions. What is the minimum amount I need to invest? About 100 for money market fund or for unit trust is reasonable. How do I earn returns, capital gains or income distribution? How long should I invest in a unit trust? Depends on your goals. Are they safe? Fairly, yes. They are low risk. Some of them, like money market, I have described before that some are high risk. So you need to weigh the options. Okay. How can I track performance? You check through the platform, you check the fund fact sheet. That one is key nowadays, and the monthly reports. Okay, and of course, you can get updates from your financial advisor or fund management manager's website. Okay, What fees will I pay? There is usually management fee, which should not exceed 2% per annum. Can I switch from one trust to another? Yes, some allow. Others allow at a fee, so you can inquire from the service provider. Can I withdraw money from any time at any time? Yes, but we said you need to have a focus as you have the fund. And then are unit trusts suitable for beginners? Yes, of course, because they have low starting amounts, they have diversified portfolio, they are professionally managed, unlike you starting trying everywhere. They are available through apps online. Just be sure to choose a fund that matches your goal and your risk level. Yes, I think that's it. I'll give you 3 minutes to ask any questions. Otherwise, that's it for me from me today. Any question, concerns? I think if you need to understand in details about unit trust or a specific, you can reach out. But sometimes it's a bit difficult explaining the nitty gritty to the crowd. Some people have an idea, they just needed to get the gaps filled. Yeah. So I'm waiting. Topic: investing in shares with the Nairobi Stocks Exchange. Okay, I've noted. I also have another topic that I have not discussed. So I'm noting investment avenues for beginners. Of course, unit trust is one of them. So don't go looking far before you have others. You can also drop your topics we can discuss future in the future lives. Shares with the NSE. Any other topics, comments, questions? It's your time. One more minute. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to like the live, and you can share. Someone can watch at whatever time. If you're not able to pick the one on TikTok, we have the YouTube link, so you can always go back and watch. In case you joined late, don't worry. We have the recording, so you can check it on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, I don't see any other questions or comments, so I'll close it at this point. Thank you, everybody. I see 836 likes. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being here, because if I didn't have audience, I would not have stayed for 1.5 hours, but I did manage to stay 1.5 hours because of you guys, your support. It's much appreciated. And most importantly, I hope you have learned something or a thing or two, and you're going to put them into practice, and you're going to see the reason why we have been recommending the money market fund. And of course, if you have not joined the 30-week saving challenge, oh, I always do a recap because I don't want anyone who joined later to miss out. And sometimes I get many questions and it's overwhelming. So I might not be able to respond to each and everybody. Okay, the purpose is building a consistent saving habit for your emergency fund or your short term goals. We're talking about the 30-week saving challenge. Okay, the duration is 7 months. We started on 1st of June 2025 until 28th of December 2025. But you can join now. We are in week 12, so you can still join. I'm going to share the targets that you can work with now that you're joining at this point. So look out for the video on TikTok and also on the community posts for YouTube in case you're on YouTube. Then I will be able to share. The contribution is from at least 100, and then the method is money market fund is recommended. Like we said, we have partnered with Etika Capital. The link will be somewhere on our profile. You can check it out. And Kuza Asset Management. For Kuza, just follow the link. For Etika, you enter the money and growth, the money and mindset at gmail.com as the referral, so that in case you need assistance, I can be able to track from my portfolio. And then you can also save in a bank account, in a piggy bank or mobile money. You can save a specific amount. The most important thing is to have a goal. If your money exceeds, it's even better. But as long as you have a goal and the purpose for that money, you're good to go. Rules for success: consistency over perfection. You better continue saving. Sometimes, even when you're struggling to get to the actual amount, just save something. Okay, then automate the savings. D, please clarify what you mean by what percentage. Then automate the savings by saving by placing a standing order. And then to stay motivated, envision your goal. What are you saving for? Can you imagine if you're saving for to ensure that in January your kids will go to school without you taking a loan, or you take yourself for a holiday this festive season, or you ensure that your January, for the very first time, your January will be at peace. It's not hectic trying to manage 90 days of January. And then engage weekly. We have lives every week, and we have updates every other day. We have a WhatsApp group. The link is also on the page. You can follow the WhatsApp group there, where we post uh, as much as almost daily. The last 2 weeks have not been consistent because of other personal reasons, but we always try to post on a daily basis. Then at week 30, you will have a solid savings pot, proven habit of consistency, confidence to take on bigger financial goals. What are bigger financial goals? If your 30-week saving target is 30,000, you can now take the next level and say, I will double the amount, because you've created the discipline and you're creating the systems. So as the system starts working, then you also become able to sustain, okay, so to speak. Yeah. So, D Muigai, I'm still waiting for you to say what percentage you're asking about. Does Kuza have a special fund? Yes, it does. Why I'm not talking about investment, it's good you have asked, Lilac. Why I've not been talking much about other investments, because you see, before you know how to save for your short-term goals and for your emergency fund, you can't be in a position to take risks. So once we stabilize, we can get there. But if you feel you have hacked the saving aspect, you have an emergency fund, you're able to save for your specific goals, you can always use the link to open the other options. The options are there. Yeah. And at least today I have explained the risk levels, so you're not in the dark anymore. Initially you could have said you're not sure. Now the ones which are high risk, medium, and low risk. So now you can make a better decision. But like I said, you can also do your own checks before getting into it. But yes, they do. All the providers of money market, you'll find they have other funds. It's only that for this purpose, we have just found ourselves focusing on money market because of the saving aspect. In fact, they have a product called Kuza Momentum, which has a minimum of 100,000 and you get high returns. Last year, I'm sure you had everybody was talking about Kuza Momentum. They had a return of 45%. Yeah. So when you're ready to take the risks, because that 45% can go to 10% to 5%, then it can go back again to 45. It just needs you to start to get there when you have an emergency fund, so you will not start rushing to withdraw money when things are south. You get? Yeah. When you're asking a question, can you clarify what you're asking? Because I'm not able to answer. Like D says, what percentage? I don't know what she means. Then Lily Fan asked, what? If you don't ask an express question, I'll not be able to know how to answer you. Yeah. So I think if there's no other question, I'm giving D and Lily a few seconds to just put in their question. Because I don't want to leave anybody out. Welcome, Sasha. Unfortunately, you are joining when we have just finished, but I'm sure next time you will join early. We usually start the live on Sundays at 5 p.m. East Africa time. So whether you're in Kenya or any other part, you can join. What is the difference between equity and fixed income? I've already explained the differences. You can rewatch the video on YouTube. The whole video is on. We are also on live on YouTube. You can just sit, watch the whole video. But if the video does not answer you, I will. You can drop me a DM. I'll try to respond to DMs this week. Or you drop a comment on the live on YouTube. Yes. But just to give you a summary so that you're not left hanging, equity fund is high risk, high returns. Okay. Fixed income is medium risk, moderate to high. Yeah. But you can also reach out for more details. Carol, keep welcome. Although we are just winding up, usually it starts. We start the live on Sundays at 5 p.m. East Africa time. So from whichever country, although I've realized we might have to do two lives per week now because I have US and other countries followers who might not be able to join this live, but I'll see maybe in the course of the week we can have the sessions in the evening. Yes. Yes, so I think that is it for today. See you in the next one and have a blessed week. It has been amazing connecting with you. Today we have done almost 2 hours. I hope I didn't say too much, but if you have any other questions, you can drop them. Yeah, so thank you and see you next week. I'll communicate if there is any changes of having two live streams in a week.